Hello? Hello, hello? It's me, phone guy. Anyways, gonna start sending out my link. Okay, well, I'm gonna launch right into the talking portion, as I seem to create a habit of, kind of doing a 10-minute little talkie before people start filtering into the chat. My two great superstars. Anyways, so we are now on the far edge of fate. This will be the final chapter of Heavensward, though. You might have noticed even from like the last patch that we did, we're not really doing Heavensward things anymore. I mean, since Revenge of the Horde, that was pretty much the conclusion. Ishgard is safe for now. They got some problems, but you know, Aimerich's got it, I'm sure. Like, it just pans over and Aimerich's like watching the city on fire and he's like, this isn't great. But you know, we're going to leave it. I want to jump on this thing. I have a... Oh, you can't. I don't think you can. Let's look at the map. Yeah, they blocked it off. How dare you. So, as Yorva jumps on some boxes here. So, we're going into a lot more Alamigo plotline. In the last episode, we met up with Ida and Papalymo once more, and they have been, this entire time, while we've been battling dragons and helping out Estinian, and then helping out Yazael, and then helping out Aimeric, and then helping out nearly everybody in Ishgard. They have been infiltrating a resistance group that follows the Griffin, and nobody really knows who the Griffin is. I think, me and my big fat mouth, because I've played so much of this game that I kind of forget. I am not a go-to person if you want no spoilers. I know way too much about this game that I think in one of the episodes I did name drop. Just like I keep name dropping the Warrior of Darkness, and I'm sorry, it just kind of comes out. But yeah, if you heard a name back in that episode, no, you didn't. We're gonna act surprised. We're gonna act super surprised. I'm trying my best to keep my mouth shut for any spoilers for Stormblood, because I was a little bit lax in the Heavensward spoilers, because technically we had already gone through a lot of it. When I was doing the series with Larks in the not solo mode, we would just call that MSQ mode or whatever, I don't know. But, anyways, to get back on the Stormblood plot, Alamigo is going to be our focus for a time, but there's also this nation called Doma. And a refresher from our time in A Realm Reborn, these Domans came to us on a boat with Yugiri, and a major event had happened. The Doman resistance was escaping, I think, a major battle. I'm trying to remember when exactly Doma fell. I think it must have been shortly after the fall of Alamigo, because their occupation nearly happened around the same time. So the timeline's a little bit fuzzy for me in Doma, but it's not really fuzzy on Alamigo. There's actually quite a bit of lore about Alamigo. So first, to shed some light on what Alamigo is like, 80 years prior to the start of A Realm Reborn. So maybe not quite a lot of, only the very elderly could probably have living memory of this. However, it's still history that's being taught. Alamigo invaded Gridania, or the Shroud, for a period of time. It was called the Autumn War. This, of course, made Alamigo and Alamigans themselves not very favorable to the Alliance. Pretty much Gridania had to team up with Ul'dah, Limsa Lominsa, and Ishgard to repel an invasion from the east, from Alamigo. Can I pull up that map? Forgot how you... There we go. So as you can see, the Black Shroud is right here, and Girabanya, which is the lands that Alamigo occupies, they're all like around here-ish. This is getting into more of like some Garlemald territories. But as you can see, Girabanya and the Alamigan territories are kind of like the gateway. As you can kind of see, there's a little strip of land and then it becomes ocean over here, but it's kind of holding the gate behind Garlemald here. So the Black Shroud, well, all of the city-states, including Ishgard, because this had 80 years ago, they were still part of the Alliance. They all repelled Alamigo back, and Alamigo then decided, fine, well, I'll stay here. So I bring up Garlemald over here, and Alamigo being like a gateway here. So fast forward like 60 years later, so this is 20 years prior to the start of A Realm Reborn. I would say most adults have living memory of this. Garlemald came in from the east here again and took over Alamigo. How did they do this? Well, it's actually pretty smart, even though they're fucking dickholes about it. There was a king. His name is King Theodoric. They called him Mad King Theodoric. Based on that title, or that moniker that they gave him. He was not a nice guy, and it's heavily implied that he was just a crazy old coot or some shit. Nobody liked King Theodoric. And so the people decided, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna rise up, and we're gonna kill, we're just gonna stab King Theodoric, and then we don't have to deal with his Mad King bullshit anymore. And little did they know, in their midst, a bunch of Garlean spies were infiltrating Alamigo at the time. So they kind of sparked this revolution, the Garlemalds, or the Garleans, the Garlemalds. That sounds like a team name. Anyways, the Garleans encouraged this revolution, and while it was pretty good that they ousted a king that was kind of ruining people's lives, unfortunately that left a weak spot open, and literally overnight during this siege, I call it mutiny, but they're not really on a boat. But when they ousted their king, it allowed Garlemald to just waltz right in and occupy it pretty much the next day over. So they went from being ruled by a really shitty king to being ruled by Garlemald pretty quickly. Don't know if their lives improved. Actually, we know it did not. Either your life got worse or it stayed equally as shitty as it did before. So, sucks to be Alamigo. So this is kind of where we are now in recent times. I should also mention that who led a lot of these Garleans in and then took over the occupation was Gaius van Belsar. So Gaius was viceroy up until we ended him. Gaius was viceroy of Alamigo. That's kind of, I'll go back to the map. So that's kind of why Gaius in a Realm Reborn was kind of slinking around Eorzea. Actually, he was doing it all the way back in like 1.02. It was easy for him. He lived right next door. So, unfortunately, when Alamigo fell to Garlean occupancy or something like that, the rest of the Alliance felt that, oh look, the map even updated and now it's got all 4 of these. Anyways, so these are our Alliance people now, but Nyx Ishgard during A Realm Reborn / 1.0. But, so these 3 felt it as Alamigo was occupied by Garlemald. It means the Garleans could have easy access as long as they were sneaky enough about it. And, you know, you can't always have eyes on every piece of land that you own. So they were able to construct these castrums in various spots on the map, even all the way into Lenosha over here. That's how we have like a whole ass castrum in Northern Thanalan that Raubans had to contend with for a very long time. A lot of those did crop up the most around 1.0 because Operation Dalamud required that the Garleans were going to do a full-blown invasion across Eorzea. 1.0 was essentially us trying to stop Garlemald from doing not just an occupation of Gridania. They were going to take out Ul'dah and Limsa Lominsa all in one go. And they had this smart idea of like messing with the moon or whatever. That was actually Nail von Darnas's plot, which that goes into detail in our quest line with Binding Coil Bahamut. But anyways, Gaius used Alamigo kind of as a leverage point to invade the rest of Eorzea. And he almost succeeded, except we stopped him, like, twice over. So, he's gone now, because we exploded the ever-living hell out of Castor Meridianum. Was it? I think it's Castor Meridianum. I can check it right here. That's not it. But, yeah, it's the Praetorium. That's what it is. Castor Meridianum is where we take down, their shields and all that, and Livia is gone, and then there's the Praetorium. We took him down in Praetorium, so that left a spot in Alamigo. We, in taking down Gaius, have created a vacancy where the Crown Prince of Garlemald now occupies Alamigo as Viceroy, and his name is Xenos Yegalvis. We will get into that later. I'm just putting that little kernel out there for now. But Xenos has taken over the occupation of Alamigo. He was over here, to the very east here, in Hingashi and Othard. Mostly around Othard, but Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm discussing the history of Alamigo and Doma. Feel free to add anything that you might remember about lore bits, but I'm just expounding upon some things that might need to be known before getting into Stormblood, that aren't explicitly mentioned, but a little bit mentioned. We learn a lot from our questline in Little Alamigo and doing quests around Southern Thanalan. And going on about the Autumn War, about how Alamigo, again, it's now so far back when that I don't think like anybody above the age of 80, first of all, they had to have been a baby when the Autumn War even started, so they'd probably be like, I don't know, I was pooping in my diapers when the Autumn War happened. And anybody older than that, I mean, they have to be very elderly Eorzean or, like a dragon or something like that. And I think the dragons didn't give a shit, so I don't think they were paying attention. They were like, I bet if you went up to some of the dragons, like, do you remember when Alamigo tried to invade Gridania? And they're like, who did what? So, but the Autumn War, I think, did start this kind of unfavorability with Alamegans trying to escape into the Black Shroud. I think the elementals still remember. The elementals are eternal, but the elementals also just operate on vibes. So I'm not sure if the elementals are like, no, you can't live here because we still remember the Autumn War, or if there's one thing I have noticed, the Alamegans that are allowed to exist in the Black Shroud, and they're not, I was going to say, extremely volatile. They're usually not people who are part of the resistance, and if they are, they're very calm individuals who aren't likely to lose their tempers. So I'm wondering if the elementals are like picking up on those vibes and are telling, the Pagels or whatever, like, we don't like these guys, because justifiably they're very angry about their homeland being taken, and they're very passionate about taking it back. But that of course means that they're very passionate about killing people and using force to get their country back. It's one thing I wondered about, why Meffred and his team are not allowed to live in Gridania or the Shroud, even though if I went back to Quarry Mill right now, you could find Meffred like right there. So I'm like, Meffred, you have existed in Quarry Mill for like years and you've never moved. And you're over there like, damn, those elementals, they won't allow me to live here. And it's like, I think you do live in Quarry Mill though, my guy. Like, that guy never leaves. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But, yeah, I thought about, when I thought about the Autumn War, between Alamigo and mostly Gridania, even though the rest of the city-states joined in on that, I gotta wonder if, the Gridanians themselves are like, we don't want those people here. They tried to invade us way back when. But it just goes to show, like, maybe don't invade your neighbors. Maybe you might need their help one day. But, try telling that to leaders. So, I think that is a bit of, like, the most important bits. I was just kind of going on just to, delay for time. Because I know it's hard for people to make it on a Thursday, but I will start the patch now. I meant to do it like probably 8 minutes ago, but I don't know. I like talking about Alamigo and Doma. I kind of just glossed over what was happening with Doma. We will find out what happened to them, but we're first going to go into Alamigo stuff, and then we'll go to Doma. So. Tidings from Garabania. I bet they're good tidings. Ah, Yorva, just the hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? Can you settle my debts at the bar? I just racked up quite a bit. Anyway, I need you to meet me at the Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. I don't recall what this part is. There's only two things that I remember about this patch, and it's Omega and a picture of a certain someone's face that's being surrounded by knives. That's how I remember this patch, but it's mostly just like, why am I going up to these guys? Oh yeah, I did remember. I wanted to go pick up a piece with Poetics. Where's the... I want tank gear. There it is. I did have a purpose here. I wanted to grab that. Because as you can see, I was almost capped on Poetics. And I was like, if we're going to do a dungeon, I'm likely to get Poetics. So, just wanted to pick up something. Yorva has to do some errands on her way here. Alright, here's the Diamond Forge. Even though it really doesn't look like much. Like, is that your guys' forge? That is just a regular ass fireplace. I'm so sorry to drive you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. They're all just standing there, menacingly. Right, everyone! Ready to go to work? What is happening? This isn't... No squirming now. Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. Yorva's like, what? Why did you sound like a witch? There! All finished. The Warrior of Light's every measurement, from heroic head to interpreted toe. Well, wouldn't you like to know? Yorva's like, what the fuck was that about? All in good time, Yorva! All in good time. There's only one outfit I remember receiving, and it wasn't now. So what the heck is this? Aha! Found you! Alfino wants everyone in the Solar for a meeting. I don't know what's it about, but he seemed to think it's very important. Go on, we have everything we need. No sense in keeping everyone waiting. I just... Random interlude. Like, if that's the beginning of the outfit that I think it is, that takes a very long time. Like a very, very long time.
We're here. Did we miss anything?
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Urianger has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Urianger has gone back to sulk in silence.
What exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphino, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Thank you, Elise. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention. And while I stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Is that all? Oh, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
I elect this 16-year-old as my representative.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention.
He aim-wrecked himself.
As my tenure as commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
He's like, please don't let me lead an army again.
Should none of our number step forward? Must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede she might struggle to balance her new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Hey, I have plenty of pretzels in my pack.
Thancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations. Have we not become sufficiently familiar with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Yorva's like, yeah, I thought we unionized.
Oh my goodness, you're... Help! I need some help here!
Watch it be like they've spilled a bottle of champagne on the ground.
Tataru, are you all right?
Me? I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Narco! God, how did... Yashola! Please, you have to help her.
Well, she's just a bit
Kral, a
winded.
hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
She's just sitting there panting on the ground. She's fine. She just looks like she ran a mile, maybe.
Now, we staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again.
The bleeding that
Though
didn't
having seen your
exist.
wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all.
She looks perfect.
Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Alamegan Resistance. I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Aye, and on no easy target. He means to assault Belsar's wall from the Alamegan side.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
Cookies.
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Alamigo, to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
His plan is flawed. Even should the Resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I should depart for Lim-Salaminsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours.
He's like,
As for
well, I'm
Note and
always
Alize,
there.
make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She will duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive. You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emmerich and encourage him to send an envoy. To Taru, Kryl, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
I suspect the ill tidings from Girabania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end. The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice. 'Twas Master Louis Soir himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied. And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice, as you will yours.
Nice inner monologue. The story's like, we don't have Edmont to, narrate for us anymore. He's done writing and he's now taking a nap. So... Actually, can I just, hit return? Oh, hell yeah. I was like, did I set my home point to Foundation again? I hope I did. I always love that free teleport. Guess I could go up. There. No stairs today. We're not doing leg day. This is us going up to Americans like, hey, we're leaving, by the way. We're not gonna be here. Bye. Greetings, Warrior of Light. What business brings you to Ishgard? War. I see. Wait here. I'll go summon Sir Emmerich. War. She's like, I see. No, don't need it. Don't say anything else. It's good to see you, my friend. 'Tis but a pity it must be under such circumstances. War all the time. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of your suit, I certainly would have sent for some wine. Can you stop it with the fucking drinks? It's done. It's over with. But to business. I thank you for bringing these developments in Alamigo to our attention. Ishgard will of course send an envoy to attend the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make, not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may forgo the formalities of a full assembly, but I will still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? No, you gotta get everybody out of here now. I thank you. Our representative, whoever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Handaloo that he is to lead in your absence. Yes, Lord Commander. So it is Sir Handaloo. I mean, of course it's Sir Handaloo. He's like... third guy. Yorva. Pray accompany Lucia to the Gates of Judgment and make ready to depart for Gridania. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury speed you on your way. Oh boy. Going back on an adventure again with Lucia. With an envoy. Do you say anything different? And he doesn't really say anything different. Handaloo kind of sits here and says like the same dialogue for 5 million years, but I still come up and talk to him every time. If you have no other business in the city, join me at the gates of judgment. We must be ready to depart the instant the envoy arrives. I like that I still have Bow on here. I can't even remember what quest I was using it for. Bow is part of my rotation, okay? When Yorva has to challenge an opponent, you have to bow first, and then, you know. Took the long way here. Should have taken the teleport. Sometimes you need to take the scenic route. Just to enjoy yourself a little bit. We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as Ishkar's envoy. He's like, surprise! It's me again! Not, I concede that there was ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it's my duty to sanction any military cooperation. Remember how I did that in a rubber board? Wow, look at how far we've come. Be that as it may, I could not in good conscience make that decision alone, not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. Statutes? The rules that we read in the book? Yeah, that. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I would see that the garrison is ready to defend the border. We just go up there and be like, yeah, I expect Garleans. Like, maybe a lot of them. Maybe just a couple. I don't, just expect them. They're like, okay, so like how many? And I'm like, at least 5? At least 5. We haven't been here for a while. Not since the awfulness. The garrison commander waits within. Why not occupy me? Yeah, he's like thinking about he's thinking about the Garlean occupation. He's just like, why not occupy me, Warrior of Light? Warrior of Light's like, what? And he's like, I mean accompany me. Would you like to accompany me? You may see a familiar face. Not the one I wanted to see. Yorva, old girl? Old girl? He's like, girl. How wonderful to see you. And Sir Amaric, too. I'm a little bit nervous. What's going on? To what do I owe the unexpected pleasures? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you will excuse... nay. Do not trouble yourself, Ottawa. We shall soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary. Lucia! Do you want to do the talking? Yes, Lord Commander. War. That's all she says. War. War never changes. Those villains hardly need an excuse to wage war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as easy as breathing to an Imperial. Is he saying that out of courtesy of Sid? He's just like, those damn Garleans, there's nothing good about them. And like, Sid's like right around the corner, like, And thus we shall strengthen our patrols as you suggest. and shall also be sure to communicate these developments to Lord Francel in the observatorium. You know, I was just thinking Sid would probably be like, yeah, those damn fucking Garleans, fuck them. I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. Surprised to see yours truly at the helm. Yorva's like, actually, I was just about to leave. You and me both, old girl. Girl. I doubt I'll ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Oh, they put the picture up. I think they might have put it up around Revenge of the Horde, maybe. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt. And with a little help from the veterans, and Ottawa's ceaseless chiding, I'm sure I'll muddle through. So, worry not, old girl. Off to Gridania with you. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I like that he's like, are you surprised to see me? And Yorva's like, bruh. So yeah, he's taking over Camp Dragonhead, since Horchvon is not available for that role anymore. And, hold on, actually I'll go back inside. I think that the picture was placed up here, probably in a previous patch. I just forgot to go back here, but they placed this up here in honor of him because they all were like, I miss when he sat in that chair. Yeah, in honor of our fallen commander, Lord Francel and some others commissioned the memorial on the cliffs overlooking the north. So it was Francel's idea to put that grave site up there. And then yeah, that part explains that he's not truly buried there, but that's like a memorial site, but that's still the same dialogue. Maybe she... No, this is he. Yeah. I constantly confuse him with Yale over there. Do here. They say their usual bout or whatever. I shan't waste my time attempting to replace him, but I can be my best self and hope that that's enough. It won't be. In quotations, and it won't be. I shall do my utmost to see that my lord is not overwhelmed by his duties, even though there's only 3 of them, probably. He can be surprisingly diligent when he puts his mind to it. If he puts his mind to it. But anyways, I do remember in some patch they put up that as a memoriam to him, so now there's 2 memorials there and over by the cliff. But Amanelin will now take over. Oh God, House for Tom Guard. He's dealing with this fate over here. I wonder if I could. So one of my favorite things to do is to like torture this House for Tom Guard over here by bringing over like an enemy or something. But I think, I don't know, they might have pushed back the sheep that they tether before that. That's neither here nor there. I'm getting distracted. Back in the day, my favorite thing to do was just to take, like, one of those sheep over in the distance and bring it over to the guard, and the guard would get, like, so offended by the sheep that he'd come and attack it. And, you could get him stuck in an endless loop because the sheep would leash, and for those of you who don't know that term, leash means, like, it's at the end of the tether before it decides to back off and not attack you anymore. And so that would happen, but it would just come right back, and that guy would forever be dealing with that sheep. Anyways, Americ's like, what have you been doing to the house for, Tom Guard? Yorva's like, don't think about it. Diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am as enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when I first laid eyes upon it. When were you here before? I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. I mean, Ishgard is, like, right there next to Gridania, so... I guess as Lord Commander, he's been here. At least for some things. It seems we are to have an escort to the Lotus Stand. A pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yes, of course. It's just like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? And I'm not sure if there's a short story that... I mean, he's been elected as kind of representative of Ishgard, so I have to imagine he's been around the Free Cities now at least once, but... As I recall, Aymeric doesn't spend much time outside of Ishgard. The envoy from Ishgard has arrived. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. Very good. This way, if you Ah, and the Lamenton party as well. See, we weren't the last to arrive. I had hoped to slip in unnoticed, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Aymeric. Admiral. Always a pleasure. And Yorva, I trust you are well. 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. Yorva's like, damn, you landed Yugiri? Like, wow. What about your boy toys still left at home? Lady Yorva, I was glad to hear that from Riol that the missing scions have now been found. There is much and more I would discuss with you, but let's first attend to the issue at hand, shall we?
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force, and the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies laboured to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
Send us more dudes.
The Doman people, too, would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed? Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift, and there is much to be done.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defences seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
Alvino's like, this is all going a little too well. And if he knows anything with his life, is that if things start going too well, that means it's bad. That the Council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is a heartening development in itself. I only hope my misgivings prove unfounded. Do you promise? Ah, good. You have yet to depart. I feared I'd missed you. Sir Aymeric! Why Sir Aymeric? Master Alfino, a pleasure as always. And Mistress Alize, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption. I had hoped to thank Yorva for serving as our escort before other duties called her away. He has any excuse to come talk to me, man. I also wish to thank our Doman ally. Sorry, I was trying to get out from under the rain. Like, everybody's getting wet. Do you know that? Forgive me, my lord. I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join the conversation, and the force of habit made me keep to the shadows. No apologies are necessary. I saw you right there, so... I was most grateful for your introduction when I offered Ishgard's support. My nation's heroic failure to heed the Alliance pleas for aid is a matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apologies. The resulting air of awkwardness... He's like, I made it awkward, didn't I? I don't know. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were it not for your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the Elder Seedseer to accept us both. I very much appreciate the gesture. She's like, Your attempts with flirting with the Warrior of Light are also extremely awkward, Aymeric, maybe? I only did my duty, Sir Aymeric. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. I'm full glad we are to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. It's tea time. Whatever is wrong with a simple sorry or thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? That is how we adults speak, dear sister. You are not an adult, and neither is she. Mayhap the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We should be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to Revan's Toll, Yugiri? Actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I'm curious to know how Papalymo and Ida fared the talks with the Sylphs, not to mention what's been going on at Belsar's Wall. I will join you at the Rising Stones anon. Yeah, I forgot the first time they mentioned Belsar's Wall. That's also why I wanted to talk about the occupation of... Where is my destination? There it is. The occupation of Alamigo, so that it's not a surprise when you come across, you know, Belsar's Wall. It's like that Gaius von Belsar built that wall, or he had the wall built, and it was named after him. Welcome back, Yorva. It took you 10 seconds. Did you forget where the button was again? Yorva's like, I forgot where the button was again. I don't know about you, but I am heartily glad that all of this talking is over. I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics. Yorva's like, sometimes you just gotta participate. That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. She's like, by the way, do you want some eggnog? Scrambled eggs. Wasn't this the same thing that Alfino once gave me? She's like, I also have been cooking, and Yorva's like, these are the exact same things your brother has been cooking. Griffin on the wall. God, some of these quest names. For the seriousness of these things. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. I'm gonna miss that piano organ. It's just... We're gonna have a new tune pretty soon. Ah, you are returned from the consul. But what of Alfino? Did some other matter require his attention? He had to go look at a wall? My apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Cryo, how's Nago doing? She will be alright, won't she? I'm afraid it's terminal. The Ligma is terminal. I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru is keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I'm certain she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now, mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision. They decided to do fuck all. Each of the nations, and Ishgard included, has committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance. Ida, you cannot one does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. I should expound upon this. The Alliance has been very careful not to engage in the Alamegan problems, mostly because, and unfortunately, like, it sucks for the Alamegans, but if the Alliance back like in a realm reborn, let's say, decide to go to war with Garlemald, not only would Alamigo still be occupied, I believe it would open up for all of Eorzea to be occupied, and therefore nobody would have anywhere to go. But a lot of the Alamegans simply believe that if we all fight together, we'll just win somehow. But that has been the alliance hasn't been really heartless. It's pretty pragmatic what they're doing. There is a shift now, though. It's no longer the 3 city-states. We now have Ishgard, and Ishgard has one of the better armies. I mean, they've honed their skills against dragons for years on end, and nearly all of their people are trained in the art of combat. So Ishgard's tipping these scales a little bit by joining the alliance. Just now, though, I mean, again, Amaric's like, the ink has dried only a little bit since they've decided to come on board. But anyways, Alfino, go on with the explanation. You know, he's quite right. To open hostilities without due consideration would invite disaster. If only there were some way to reach the Griffin. Some means to convince him to abandon this reckless course. What are we gonna say to him? Like, pretty please? It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Belsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo, which may equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want. I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. Did I mention that I'm a shinobi today? If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. I will take any chance at all. Can we have Yugiri in this dungeon? I didn't think about it, but we have a dungeon coming up. Is Yugiri gonna be in it? I really hope so. Tancred's like, Yorva, focus. And she's like, Yugiri. As are mine. It has been far too long since I've shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. Tancred's like, no, I'm going after. And Yorva's like, over my dead body, Tancred. Yugiri is like, I am not interested in either of you. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kryl and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you, Leviers? I will return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worse, 'twould seem wise to be on hand. But I prevail upon you to accompany me, Yorva. Gridania will be safer for your presence. And while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask that you remain at the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on. To hold the fort, you mean? Very well. I suppose the task must fall to someone. She's like, I'm going to drink all the wine out of the cellar, by the way. They're like, no, you still got growing to do. She's like, God, come on, I have a degree. I have a degree. I remember in college, I thought it was so unfair. I was still not young enough to drink, but I still had to pay, like, rent every month. And I'm like, I got adult duties, but I can't drink. Now I'm like, you know what? Probably was best. Think about my even younger 20-somethings, and I'm like, you're still growing. If you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray attend it now. I would depart for the Hawthorne Hut without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobstructed view of Balsar's Wall, and I would be interested to speak to the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves at its top. We'll see what the fam has to say over here. Sometimes I skip over them for time's sake. I can't talk to everybody and still fit it within 3 hours. I may perhaps have exaggerated my standing with the resistance a little. I am very small when I stand, so... But I am confident that I have a reasonable chance of putting a stop to this madness before events spiral out of control. Yes, fair to middling at the very least. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't be the worst thing if we ended up joining the Griffin's fight against the Empire. I mean, it's gonna happen sooner or later, isn't it? She's also not wrong. But, because, like, eventually, I mean, Garlemald invaded Alamigo with the intentions of using that as a foothold to invade the rest of Eorzea. But stuff keeps happening in the world of Final Fantasy XIV that causes both sides to kind of be at a stalemate where one can't really attack the other while still being in the weakened state it is. My fellow shinobi required little encouragement to take the place amongst sea. I'm sorry, just imagining she's just like going up to shinobi, she's like, who would like to fight some Garleans? And they all like raise their hands, and she's like, I didn't say what the mission was yet, and they were like, I don't need any more. They are most eager to cross the blades with the armies of Garlemald once more. They're like, I volunteer. I am no ninja, but I did spend some few moons in the Charlayan homeland learning how to move unseen. Between Yugiri and my humble self, Ida and Papalymo will be well protected. Oh, sorry. Got some notifications and then I realized it's just, the same messages. I thought chat got active, but it was just previous chat. Alright, now we have to go to East Shroud. So East Shroud, being the easternmost portion of Gridania, it shares a border with Garabania. And we won't be seeing it just now. We have to talk to Alfino over here, and then probably talk to Alfino over there. Ah, Yorva, there you are. Come. Oh gosh. Marisa Spires awaits. He's like, you should have learned this word back in the Bard quest, remember? The Alliance officers are on the platform the Alliance officers on the platform should be able to appraise us of any developments at the wall. They've all been staring at that wall like, yep, that's sure a wall over there. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We're about to set forth. Indeed, I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have the need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alfino. We'll have the griffin by the scuff of his neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nearly a moment ago, you seemed ready to shake the griffins by the hand rather than the neck. So which is it to be? To be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papalymo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. Please don't say that. The talking part, I leave to you. He's like, please. He's like silent. Don't say it. She's like, what? I'll shake a man. I'll shake a man wherever he needs it. Stop. I think I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on our way, shall we? Yorva's like, she's as bad as Amric. When I tried to tell him that DTF does not mean down to fight. Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Like I said, we talked to Alfino over here, and now we're going to talk to Alfino over there. This is where we were during the Bard quest, like right here. It was raining heavily, so... Also, just to say, when I say that there was a wall, that's what I mean. Like, this is the wall. You could always take a gander of it. I think this was like the spot. You couldn't fly back in those original days, but I remember we would like line up here and be like, what the heck is this little area? We did not know for a long time. Well, it says Castrum Oriens, but it's technically Belsar's Wall. Yeah, but Castrum Oriens was always marked here on the map from the very beginning. But you just couldn't go there. You just were stopped right here. Now you can even fly all the way down here, but they give you a barrier. You can't fly that close. But yeah, this wall right here officially marks the end of the Shroud and the beginnings into Garabania, which are the lands owned by Alamigo. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you are here to speak with our commanding officers. I'm not one of them, I just sit here. You will find them on the observation platform. Pray proceed. We're not even going to show them walking up the stairs. That's too much animation budget. Just, you know. Why is it nighttime? Yorva's like, where's the sun? Where'd it go? Greetings, my friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've dragged half the watch here, and see the sight of you might help and remind them why we're bothered. If memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say, what an honor it is to stand at your side. Yorva's like, oh yeah, I did beat you up. How was your beating up? Did you enjoy it? Please fill out this survey to let me know how I can I can improve my beating ups. 'Tis heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? And, well, we looked at it and it was a wall. I'm not even gonna read Versailles' line, like... It was a wall. Oh look, how fortuitous. Yorva's like, why do things never start happening until I show up? Then stuff happens? Report! What? 7 hells! Fighting has broken out on top of the wall. Like we predicted. A full-scale assault! So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has... And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible. We gave no such order. Of course. The wall was never the Griffin's target, it was bait. We had been goaded into deploying our armies nearby, thus leading weight to his deception. Oh god, if we just sat back and done fuck all, we could have avoided this. If those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we've launched an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin supporters to slip into Alamigo. He could then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. Yorva, we must make for the wall at once. What? Just the two of you? I want to go. Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful and capable to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin, and if we can do that, we can beat him up! Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? Ah! I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. Pippin's like, why is everything always on fire? So, the Griffin dressed up his followers in Alliance colors to frame the Alliance as the true attackers. Forward, comrades! The time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who have turned their backs to our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. Even the cost of lives of people that you have no business in wagering. So it's like cool of him to, really push forward with the, liberation of Alamigo, but the way he's doing it, it's just, he's going to gamble this all on the hopes. Again, he's still one side. If we all lose, Alamigo will never be free, and he's lost the one chance only of liberating the entire city. Like, if all of Eorzea falls, what the fuck does he think is going to happen to Alamigo? But he just does not care, so... From what Papalimo told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. I could have told you that. I have eyes. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straightways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask you to scale the wall. Scale the wall, wall scaler. Know that I would not propose such a course were there any other way, but the time for subtlety is past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through to the Griffin. Make him see reason by any means necessary. Kill him. Got it. Once we are free of the tunnels, we will make for your position with all due haste, and if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us away to safety. Surely nothing will go wrong. I only pray that we have enough time. So, am I gonna get, like, Temple Banneret again? Because a lot of this still has dialogue that suggests, he's just like, take some of your companions. That usually means, like, take some of your FC members. Hell yeah, my Scion buddies! You're back! Alright, this is the final dungeon of Heavensward. The final, I should say, story dungeon. And it's a nice segue dungeon because this is not technically Ishgard. We're crossing the border from Eorzea into Garabania, technically, in this. Oh man, I don't know if this might be... There might still be some Scion Buddy shenanigans in Stormblood. Like I said, some of these dungeons I'm going in completely blind. There's some dungeons I may have a pretty good guess, or have already seen some video of people going through those dungeons or something. But a lot of the dungeons in Stormblood, I'm not quite sure who will be going with us. I'm assuming that the twins might be present for a bit of them, but I was getting really excited thinking like Yugiri. Like, I believe Yugiri should be one of the NPCs for a dungeon that I will not mention yet, in Stormblood, and but we'll see if eager scions. When you first start out with these guys in A Realm Reborn, they're known as like eager marauder, eager conjurer. At some point, they become scions. Typically, they have to be scions, quote unquote, when there's, you know, a primal involved. I'm assuming, I mean, there's little to no lore about these guys. They're kind of faceless people. You could replace these guys with any friends you make in this game, or because like in Ziya's canon, like she's always hanging out with Lark Shallow, her spouse Hahachi, and then there's Alexander Clementine. So like, I think I discussed once with Lark, so I'm like, I would really love if they would allow us to customize these guys. So then I could make one look like Larks, and one look like Hachi, and then one look like Clem, and then, you know, just pretend that it's them there. But, you know, I don't know what kind of coding would be required to do that. You could kind of do it with Trust, which I think we talked about that last time. Or not Trust, it's, gosh, the Free Company doohickey thing. Before Duty and Trust, there was, I got it. Squadrons, there we go. Finally knocked that out of my brain. And you can dress up your squadrons in like glamours and stuff. They even put like a glamour dresser and everything in that room. And man, I just, especially on my main account with ZIL, like I have not gone back to look at squadrons for a very long time. I was like, I'm gonna put the dot on that guy. Alright, now I can go back to Alien. Nah, this guy still needs to die. You guys are taking such a long time with this. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think there would be any changing of their race or whatever if you wanted to dress up duty support, but it would be nice. I also, like, I have a fondness for them because I feel like they've traveled with me since A Realm Reborn. Is there something I was supposed to... Oh, I'm supposed to hit the terminal. Was there something... There was. Okay. Guys gotta forgive Yorva. She hasn't been here before. She's new. Yeah, this is my first time doing duty support with them, so typically another party member always picks that up. I've usually been carried through this. You're scrap metal. When they first introduced these duty support characters for mostly like Aroma-born stuff, they just needed some faceless characters to go into these dungeons with you, but now that I've seen them multiple times over, I just have a fondness for all four of them. We don't see Lancer, because I'm taking Eager Lancer's place right now. See, if you do this game mostly in solo mode, like I have, can't remember, do I attack the other guy's stuff? Or it just simply means I'm tethered, right? I don't know. Sometimes these mechanics get screwy. Also, I don't have much to say about this boss. It's a Garlean guy. An Imperial operating a machine. How shocking. I can't believe we found an Imperial in a machine. Actually, fun fact, that is a mount you can ride. Not my favorite. It looks kind of like a forklift. So, forklift mount. I can't believe I actually had some sort of fun fact stashed away about this fight of all things. I was just gonna talk about my love for Eager Conjurer and Eager Marauder. Okay, that's enough slices. Quit attacking me. I'm done. Didn't get to finish my combo. It just goes to show they can make nameless, nearly faceless NPCs, and you can still get attached to them, because I'm like, man, they're just always some guys that are around the area. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll help out. But it won't be long until we won't see these guys ever again, because by Shadowbringers, that's when the trust system comes into play, and oh my god, that's a lot of guys. Actually, this is exactly the same as if you go in with other players, so... I am not sure, because I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've done this dungeon, but I know I must have queued into it after they've done duty support. But I mostly know this dungeon without the duty support, but I don't think I can recall anything that they have changed in this dungeon since I last truly did it, which was 10 years ago. I was still trying to complete my degree at the time of this. Might be dating myself, but I was in college for the majority of Heavensward, and around Stormblood, that was when I got like my first adult job right out of college, which, you know, still paid pennies. I think my adult job was being paid $10 an hour doing AutoCAD services, so that's what a college degree got you back in 2016. So I believe, remember when the Stormblood trailer dropped? And yeah, that was when I was working that first job. first job that wasn't just, you know, your high school gig, which then turned into your college gig if you still lived in the area. I was like, where are we? The amount of noise that comes from like every enemy I hit with these moves. There's just like, who put all these shit on the assembly line? Like, I like that the Scion conjures like, is it finally over? And it's like, no. There's still like 1 bajillion enemies to hit right over here. I should also talk about, oh yeah, just when you thought, oh, finally we're done with that. No, there's still more trash to pull. So if you pay attention to the musical melody, which I think I did turn the background music down. I'll turn it up a little bit. This is the Black Shroud. The Black Shroud tune, if you pay attention to it. Oh my god, the Conjurer. I was just talking about how you guys are my buddies, how you guys are my gals. And you're over here disappointing me and being an embarrassment. You're on the fucking floor. I hope I can kill these guys in time. Oops, wrong combo. Yeah, we'll be fine. We don't need any healer here. Alright, who's gonna... Alright, you got the Phoenix down? The Marauder's like, I got this. Not my best showing. Conjurer, you just stood there in the goop. Example, number 3 of why Duty's port is a little, we got through it though. Alright. Oh, this one is definitely dangerous. Worry not, I'll tend to your wounds. Okay. I don't know what to say about this boss. Welcome, Spider Mecha. I suspect this is in the new Spider-Man movie or something. Like, he got a cameo in this game first. One of the first instances where we get like these decoy jammers. That special marker is something where you're like, don't move, don't even attack, just don't move. And if you don't, then you're safe. If you do, you'll explode up into the sky, and it'll hurt. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there. Like, I could have probably tried to land another attack, but I just err on the side of caution, because, like, why not? But, something tricky-dicky will happen. Where they'll put AoEs underneath you and freak you out, like, oh no, I gotta move, and it's like, no, just wait a bit. Now for this strategy, which is, let's just throw a bunch of spiders at them. Just like a bunch of them, all at once. Like, this is going to make a difference. Alright, sensory jammer back up. Okay, now we run. Yeah, I think that one's a little bit easier now. Back in the day, I mean, including myself, but like I saw too many people just like, oh no, I gotta get out now. And it's like, no, just give it a minute. Wait for that thing to pass, and then you're good. You're golden. There's, in the future, there's a lot of movesets like that, where it's like, it's built to kind of freak you out, to make you move, when that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Actually, I'll let these guys have at them while they're doing that. So that was where that cutscene took place, on that bridge right there. And actually, I think they were coming down those stairs in particular. So this is like on the other side of the wall here. I probably got hit by something. You guys got this, right? Alright, so, oh, there's a treasure chest. Did I pick up the first treasure chest? I know I just picked up the one that was the bottom. Whatever. We don't need anything where we're going. But yeah, as you can see, this wall is huge. It's not just, you know, a picket fence that they set up. With some barbed wire. Like, this construction is, what do I want? Stalwart? Is that a good word for it? Like, this structure is impenetrable. Except we're doing that right now. But, you know, special conditions and all that. Anyway, when you go up to this, back in the day, I was like, well, the wall doesn't look that bad. And then we actually get in it, and I was like, oh, this is like a little fortress. Like, no wonder the Alliance couldn't dream about breaking through this wall, like everyone else said, like, even if you do take down this wall and you occupy it, like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's too much wall to try to defend all at once. The Garleans will just take it back over and, you know, probably kill all your men. That kind of sucks. All of your guys are gone. And then they get so angry that they go attack the rest of Eorzea. And I swear to God, I just got things situated in Ishgard. If you guys ruin it again, I'm gonna come over there and give you a stern talking to. Yorva's gonna be like, I just got Ishgard in a somewhat working order. You're not ruining this for me. And then for a more scenic route, because I can. Oh, you can't, like, see anything. That's why they call it the Black Shroud, guys. You see that right there? I'm not sure... What is this banner out there? Is that the spire we came from? I'll have to fact check it. But yeah, I guess there's also the fact that there's been fires burning here for a while, so, oh yeah. Here's our guys that are pretending to be, Alliance soldiers. Now we have to kill them. A bit of a surreal feeling to be attacking people with storm colors or adder colors, but you know. They're not real. These are paid actors, guys. It's fine. They're not actually dead. They're just pretending. In front of a live audience. Should be more. There they are. Typically, in a player base, we'd be polling all the way to here. But Duty and trust. Unless you're the tank or you're the healer, it's just better to just go pull by pull. It's annoying, but way better than wiping. As a DPS, I just find like the healer just refuses to heal me, just for reasons. Alright, we've made it to the top. Look at that, it looks like an arena. It's him, who I accidentally name dropped. 'Cause I already been new. The Griffin. He's gonna say a lot of things. Just to let you know, he's gonna say things. So yeah, if you don't recall that guy's face from, Aurora Born, or even when we went to go free, oh, I gotta look away. He's changing. Yeah, he does a lot of that. This is Ilberd. Fun fact, Sloppy became a meme for a very long time. In fact, there's still people who use Sloppy as a meme, but God, was that meme huge in 2017. Alright, which one are we attacking? Middle one? Okay, and see, you guys are men of and women of culture. Okay, but healer, can you please cast an AoE or something? When he goes yeah, he kicks somebody. Yeah, he has a move, and it's called boot. Not really, but that move is called sloppy. But there's one where he just goes yeah, and it literally is just him. He just kicks you with his boot. So when I was going through this battle over and over back in the day, I'd be like, he's giving me the boot. Because he just randomly selects a character in that moment. He jumps like that. Just to fake you out. Having less problems with this as a melee, but as a ranged, I would constantly get hit by that mostly room-wide slice of his, okay, he's doing Lion's Head again. That's this fiery move. But you gotta stay close to him, because he's gonna slice more than half of the arena with his sword.
How'd you like this?
Okay. Don't look at him. Oh, I think I got the boot.
Yeah!
Yep. Okay, it is called Big Boot. I just saw that. It's Big Boot. That pillar of fire is totally there to like make sure that you don't see where he goes. Other than that, he's an easy fight, but back in the day, oh boy. It was just easier to die. Not that I remember like full party wipes happening too often, but holy crap, if you were a squishy mage, you weren't surviving half of those movesets. I love you, my friends, even though Warrior of Light's been hanging out with these guys for like ages, and has never learned any of their names. So Yorva's like, oh god, it's too late to ask now. So it's be like, yeah, thank you guys. Alright, time for some plot.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea.
This guy has been in a realm
They die
reborn.
that others may live.
Legless Laurentius. And Yu Hase from a realm reborn.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells! Do you hear that?
War machines! How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
So, like, this is shit. He did not give a crap about any of these resistance members. Like, even your own people, Ilberd, your own fucking people, he just doesn't care. He's like, I will sacrifice everybody. So these poor guys believed in his
There's
vision.
nowhere to run! We're cut off!
They believed in his cause. They followed him. And this was his plan all along. These people who only wanted to fight for a better life, who placed their trust in him.
Gods help us! What were we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Rolger, grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are.
As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand? You truly are a sheltered child, Leverrier.
He's like, I got a boob job.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Alamigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
Yeah, he actually has a lot of...
What do you mean to do?
He has a lot of resentment for Alamegans.
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned?
You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power!
Once again, another guy is like, I can do it better.
Oh, yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hell you will!
So like, I'll punch a man with a boob job, I don't care. He's like, you can't catch me. Can't touch me.
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
Yorva's like, no! Not the Disney death, only that was a little bit violent, a little bit. We actually got to see him actually almost land. She's like, no, in order to properly do the Disney death, you have to, like, cut away. You also can't show the body on Disney, no. Piles of corpses. So, another way of summoning a primal is with lots and lots and lots of dead bodies and killing yourself while holding Eyes of Nidhogg. You could replace Eyes of Nidhogg with something else, but, you know, conveniently they had that on hand, so... yeah, we're...
This light, is it...
Why is Hydaelyn singing to us?
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
True, when they did Louisoix, they had to do a lot.
Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Also his oldest.
Tiptimati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalimo! I know how that spell works.
They're like, hey guys, what's with that thing?
It is time to leave!
Back away.
Quickly now, off you go! The further away, the better!
No! If you're staying, then so am I!
No, Ida! There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here, not like this! Take her! Please, you have to take her!
Thancred once again. Thancred's like, alright.
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Yorva's like, not even a little? Can't remember. I mean, there's only one outcome to this. I'll see what happens if I try to stay. I believe Tsuyaya was like, okay, and then got on the ship. Yeah, that's what happens if you try to stay. He's just like, no.
I think he means now!
Thancred's like, if I know anything about balls of light, they explode.
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
So this is a reflection of A Realm Reborn, or 1.0, maybe. This is the same sealing power that was done on Bahamut. And that is exactly the same pose Louisoix made at the end of 1.0. So, you know, everything's fine. So Papalimo was Louisoix's closest student, mostly because of all of the students Louisoix took under him. I believe Papalimo had to be, I don't know, I wouldn't say his first, because I have no idea who might have come before Papalymo. But Papalymo is around 40 years old, in this, this part of the game. So he certainly would have been around Louisoix the longest out of anybody in the Scions. Papalymo knew what he was doing, and I could not refuse him. Thancred is once again like, he keeps shouldering this burden of watching his friends die. Even Ishgardian gets taught that the Sea of Clouds churns in the grip of the warring elements of water and wind, enough to tear you apart, they say. No one's ever gone to the bottom of the abyss and lived to tell the tale. So how did that bastard manage to get his eyes on Nidhogg's eyes? How did he get his hands on Nidhogg's eyes? Enough to do a fine boot job. It has been explained to me what the light represents, and I have ordered our forces to stand ready. It seems we can do little else but wait. Oh yeah, he's referring to, See, now would be a good time to be in the dark, but now it's daytime. He means that, so we gotta look at that for, like, a while. Like, can you imagine just taking a stroll out in the Shroud and just look up and you're like, I wonder what that is. I understand only too well the desire to reclaim one's homeland, but I cannot condone such slaughter. Yeah, the thing is like, Ilberd has good intentions somewhere in there, but God, how many more must we lose? Ilberd was simply a desperate man at the end of there who just got fed up with shouting, help us, help us. But you could detect in that speech of his, and I pointed out, he's got this resentment towards Alameans. Like, to him, it's not fighting for the people he loves anymore. It's just all about getting what he wants, and he wants Alamigo. And I don't know. Spoken like a true man who had nothing left to live for, because he's gone now. Like, you don't come back from that. His head smashed into a bajillion pieces on that concrete, and then anything left of him was slurped away into whatever this is. So all of those dead bodies, even his own, they have been turned into mush as a cocoon for that. I should say not the physical bodies, but you know, their energies or whatever. Why? You know why. Why didn't they let me stay? I mean, I tried to stay. You saw what happens. Papalymo is my friend. I should have been there with him. And what, also be a slurry? Like, what? Does everybody here want to be a slurry? Thancred raises his hands like, I would like to be a slurry, please. He's like, look, you can't be the first one to commit suicide in this group. It has to be me, alright? You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. He wanted to be Louisoix so bad, so he copied his moves. Master Louisoix wore that same look right before the end. Thancred, you were nowhere near there. As I recall, in that Realm Reborn cutscene, you were in a temple. Do you think I don't know that? I know, alright, I know! There's nothing more you could have done. Ilberd caught us off guard. Hold on. Ilberd caught us off guard. Even Yorva was powerless to stop him. I beat him up real good. Take you and your rat tail out of here. God, here he goes again. Defining Thancred moment, what I'm about to say. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Papalymo strove to protect, or the lesson he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on. Go back to the... Sorry, I was like... My brain scrambled. Go on, go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. I thought when he said Ida, he was talking about me, Yorva, and I'm like, there's too many Y names going on. It's over, Papalymo. It's all over. My life is done. Leave her be. Nothing you can say will console her now. The Thancred's doing the suicide watch, but he won't let us do it for him. Okay, they're all saying the same things. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I will see word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Oh boy, we're gonna come back. They're like, how was the mission? And it's just like we all have that Mr. Incredible's meme face. So I should say from this point onward, Papalymo is evaporated. He did the same spell that Louiswa did at the beginning of A Realm Reborn or end of 1.0, whatever you want to place that. Now, Binding Coil Bahamut does reveal what exactly happened to Louiswa, but I mean he's dead. He's gonzo for good. And same thing with Papalymo, like his atoms just don't even exist anymore, so you can't come back from that. In case anybody was having any doubts, like, well, there's no body. It's like, there's no body because there's no atoms left of this guy. 2 atoms, you say? "'Twould seem you bring ill tidings, brother." She's like, "I see that Mr. Incredible face you're wearing." Behind the griffin's mask we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilberd. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. He's like... And then his head went smack against the concrete. By the 12... To atoms, you say? I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Papalymo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even onto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian. They can go wherever the fuck they want. But now is not the time for idle speculation. Kryl, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it, then. What? without so much as by your leave. Pray forgive Archon Y'shtola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. The desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I, too, must contend with this grievous loss in my own way. By thy leave, Lady Alisaie, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study and this bottle of wine I kept behind the bar. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Alisaie's like, why are all the adults crawling off to some corner to go cry? And Alfino's like, that's what adults do. You don't cry in front of others. You go to a dark corner, drink an entire bottle of wine, and cope until the end of time. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilbert's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. Alright, good point, but you know. Gotta make time for grief. Oh god, this guy's face. Alright. Yorva. I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning we shall have no idea how long it will be before somebody calls me. A communication from the Alliance. What moment? Yorva is once again standing there like, why does everything comes to a standstill until I'm here? And then it's like the plot progresses. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the primal, of course. As of Y'shtola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above over the wall, unchanged. But menacing. Yes, but the Elder Seedseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. She's like, everybody keeps going for a walk and they keep asking me about the glowing thing with a bunch of spikes coming out of it, and I'm tired of answering that question. I'm told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to the proceedings. Like, hey Sid, remember Project Dalamud? Yeah, the one that made your father go fucking nuts and it made you defect from the Empire? Like, we got another one of those on our hands, and he's just, like, sitting there, like, already, like, so much PTSD just engulfing him, and he's like, okay, I'll be on my way. After that, Alfina's like, it was a wise decision to call Sid in. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Sid's just like, future in the corner, just rocking back and forth. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand. Meanwhile,
a word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still,
Takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes, you're in Eorzea.
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good God, man. Are you all right?
He's my favorite. Urianger's just like, what?
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
He's like about to go cry with his bottle of wine as once again he's lost another of his long-running classmates and good friends. And then he's that, and he's like, alright, I guess I'll put the bottle away. Now for my favorite cutscene.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice-damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
But like, goddamn it, not another primal of a dragon, damn it. Like...
So the primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
It's like, shit's fucked, man. Let's all cross our arms and think.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
Here we go.
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
They're like, I'm sorry. What about that dragon you built back in A Realm Reborn?
Who is this man?
That's still funny.
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanau since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry. Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame?
Yorva's like, well, I have bested a dragon and primal before, so...
Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Nero's like, that's the fun of it. You just let it go.
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartanau while you continue your petty squabbles above,
Then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
Yorva's like, why are you asking me? She's like, I don't know. He's like a wet dog. You just gotta adopt him. Like, no matter how ugly it is. She's like, I also wouldn't want to fight Bahamut. Like, last time...
He makes me grind my teeth is what he does. But I suppose we don't have much of a choice.
Yours, like, considering I didn't almost survive the calamity, I guess I wouldn't do well against this one.
Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
That stare was full of energy right there.
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Carteneau and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
The other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Carteneau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
Yorva's like, no, I want dibs.
My blade is yours.
She's like, I would love to kill a man today, now that you mention it.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
He smiles like somebody who has to practice in the mirror. And he still gets it wrong. Every time I see Nero smile, it's like it always feels like fake. Like he's like, "Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right, Sid?" And he's like, "No, you're doing it wrong, Nero. You look like a creep." Oh, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Alfino, I think he has us all bugged, like all of us. Ooh, a surprise present. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alize is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. So we gotta go to the airship landing. So we're going to Carteneau, and this isn't really covered in MSQ. Carteneau is a PvP area. And the lore behind it is that the Carteneau Flats, which exists somewhere kind of around Mordona, it's in a neutral area, and Ul'dah, Gridania, and Limsa Lominsa, they all want claim over it, but technically none of them have full claim over it. So they kind of use it as a training exercise, or more like friendly battles. Skirmishes. Skirmishes take place in Cartano Flats in the form of us, the players, doing PvP against each other, but, it's all in good fun. They just like to use it as their, like, their football grounds. But there has been mention of Omega there before. Buried in Cartano is a giant Allagan ruin, and inside that ruin is a machine known as Omega. It is derelict, so they don't really know what to do with it. It's too big to haul out, so they just kind of leave it there while they do their training exercises above and fight each other. Not to the death, but to exhaustion, I guess. Yorva, Alfino, ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of the man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alfino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... well, there they are. I think Alize was like, Sid, please allow me some time with Yugiri. Like, she's so cool and awesome, please. And Sid's like, oh, gosh. Another lesbian crush? Stop. Just stop it. Right. I think that's everyone. Shall I set course for Cartano? Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. A few hours of talking? It would seem wise to gain a clear understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When I want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alfino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. My apologies for the trouble. I shall visit Y'shtola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Yorva, pray accompany Alize back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guests. Right. Everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. Look, even Yorva at that time is like, Alfino, why do you need hours to talk with people? You are traveling with Master Garland, miss. The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Thank you, Vita. And now we're all standing around like a band of jackasses. Okay. I do not care for that man. Yugiri with the scathing conversation over here. Strange though it may seem, Nero's former loyalties do not trouble me. But I can see why people are loath to lower their guard around him. Yeah, even if he's like, look, I renounce everything I did for the Empire, blah, blah, blah. He's still an asshole. Like, he was forever an asshole. What manner of airship has no private cabins? And again, I suppose Garland had to find somewhere to stow his half-baked inventions. Nero, this isn't a pleasure cruise. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then? I wish I could... Wait, can I, pretend? I'm not really sure what made it the Excelsior. I mean, it did... I guess it does now have, like, Ishgardian plating to it or something like that. Yeah, this is an Ishgardian, front plate. It's now my turn to enjoy... Last time I did this cutscene, it was not possible to, like, fly around this and, like, observe. And, of course, this is the logo of the, Ironworks. They love to put flame decals on their stuff. I like to believe Biggs and Wedge are actually behind that, because Sid, as much as I love him, he's such a stick in the mud. He has no room for that kind of creativity, so he's like, going up to Biggs and Wedge, like, why does it have flame decals all over it? And they're like, it makes it go faster, Chief. And he's like, that does not make it go faster. And they're like, Chief... Everybody knows the flame decals make things go faster, even if it's not proven. We got these four just... I love that they're all facing just, like, the exact same direction, which is north. Like, there's not, like, somebody standing over here and kind of facing, like, northwest. It's like, no, like... I guess technically on the map they're facing east, but, you know, if we're orienting from them. Oh. I mean... Ori Boulders and his companions left to continue reconnaissance on the beast tribes. I mean, we can't say that anymore, we have to say societies. They were adamant about shouldering what burdens they could while the senior scouts were occupied with this cocoon energy. Home over here is just keeping her company. Ah, the determination upon their faces. There is nothing more blinding than youth burning with purpose. So yeah, it was pretty empty in here. It looks like everybody's gone to do their jobs. We must be careful, old friend. The walking weapons of Allagan were expressly designed to subdue primals, but men like Gaius will always seek to use them against mankind. It falls to us to ensure that Omega is never employed as a weapon of war. Do you promise? In the wrong hands, it would be... it would be bad. One was created to capture Bahamut, and the other to surpass him. Which will prove the stronger, I wonder? I know Nero's a guest here, but we don't exactly have the happiest history with the Empire, do we? So, my question to you is, do I offer him tea? No, absolutely. He wouldn't even accept it. He'd just be like, this isn't coffee. Bring me coffee. And that's why you don't give it to him. Fear not, I shall keep a close eye on our new ally. It is on site with her. She was given free permission to kill, and she's just like, I cannot wait to end a man's life today. Now he's gonna be judging our interior decor.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
Get wrecked. He's standing there like, a small Olafel just roasted me.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
My favorite.
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger.
Urianger was like, just go over here.
I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly.
I like to believe Urianger fed him mac and cheese.
Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
Yeah, now we got Doma begging for our aid too.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
I think we need to tell him about the world-ending possibility that...
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire?
Oh no, you...
Yugiri, you draw steel against the curse of Garlemald?
Titans are my trigger! That's what that was.
Then why did you not say so?
We should have started with it.
My brigade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
Yeah, Yugiri, you should have, instead of saying, oh, I need to repay these wonderful people, you should have just said, hey, the Empire is going to invade Eorzea if we don't put a stop of this. And also, there's like a calamity... It's like Keter class primal. Can we start ranking primals in the way of, like, SCPs? Because some primals are... how should I say? Some primals are a little bit less dangerous than others. Like, Muhammad is way up there with world ending. Meanwhile, I would classify Good King Muggle as unsavory. Probably shouldn't leave that go unchecked. Could possibly kill people, but more from oopsies. But, you know, that's just my 2 cents. Yorva, wait, before you categorize all those primals, could I speak with you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge? Did we ambush you? Yorva's like, don't do it. Don't do it again. Well, once we've had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. You can try it on right now if you like. Is it the outfit I was thinking of? Oh, this is a different outfit. I look like a Charlatan student. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? Or was like, the skirt's a little too short? Why am I dressed like a schoolgirl? You're not just saying that, are you? I love schoolgirls. Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light is... it's, well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed a blood pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. May it always protect you. Just like, I'm sorry, what? A blood pearl? So this is how you get the Scion Adventures attire. Unfortunately, Tataru, I don't know. I have never seen anybody like use this attire in like any glam. I just don't see people. I look like I go to school somewhere, which again, if I'm supposed to look like a Charlatan Scion or whatever, this design is perfectly that, like, but, oh god. I super hate it when they do the skirt like this with some sort of weird, this is just, look, just like Thancred's outfit, they made some design choices here that it's like, why, what is this going on? Is this a garter belt? Why do I only need a garter belt for one sock? Also, like, what sock glue is being used here, and is it sticking to my fur? Because anybody who's worn, like, can I even call them socks? They're more like weird leggings. Anybody who's wearing thigh highs knows that that stuff slips down the moment you start walking, if you don't have, like, something severely secured there. Also, what's with these cuffs at the bottom here? Do they even, like... Hold on, I gotta put on that, try on, and then do... Not display, save, delete outfit. Okay, so... Okay, the cuffs do cover the shoes. And these shoes look an awful lot like Alfino and Alize's new shoes. They're just a little bit different. They're just in the same kind of style. And yeah, I'm so sorry, Tataru. Maybe it works on some people. It does not work on any of my characters. Tsuyaya got that outfit, and she promptly threw it in the garbage later on. She just didn't want to be rude, but as you can see, like, it almost looks like Alize's weird skate boots. I always call these the skate boots because if you realize she... Gosh, there's like this metal bit. I can't zoom in on that. Can I do this? I'm too tall. Anyways, there's like this metal bit on her shoes. Those aren't exactly like soles. There's like... Looks like she's wearing ice skates and she's just stomping around with ice skates. Oh, I think he's gonna fit right in. Talk about Gosetsu. Never did I think to hear Gosetsu's voice echo through these halls. I mean, nobody did. Nobody at all. Truly, I had no idea Domas could be so loud. He and Yukiri could hardly be more different. One is the nice Japanese girl that is treated to be seen and not heard, and the other is some boisterous guy. Just the two unexpected guests, then. Still, I suspect that each will prove useful in his own way. The Mark 14... Yeah, the Mark 14... Yeah, I'm not reading that wrong. She said it earlier, didn't she? The Mark 14 Thermocoil Boilermaster. Dear me, how risible must the previous 13 iterations must have been. I could design a more efficient water heater in the time it took that ill-conceived lump to become lukewarm. Of course, he's taking that as a challenge. My blade shall carve a path through the Empire's ranks as a scythe fells stalks of wheat. How dare he mock the Scions like that? If I ever have to sew a set of traveling clothes for him, I just might forget to take out the pins. Oh, big threats. Big threats here. Oh god. Oh god, I forgot about this guy. There's a reason why I forgot about this guy. He's really inconsequential. So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Yistola and Cryo. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Yorva, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of security. God, I love Gosetsu. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Nero's just like, oh my god. Nero's like, get on with the plot already. Nero is a cutscene skipper. 100%. He skipped all of the cutscenes in A Realm Reborn, and that's why he doesn't know why everybody doesn't like him. Alright, I might go till 9:30 with this one, because we're very close to wrapping it up, but I need an extra 30 minutes. We haven't far to go, and with any luck, we'll be in Cartano before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Oh, is he, oh yeah, he's not looking too good over there. Once there, however, we best be on our guard, given that Elaine Royale, or I always call her Royale because they made like a Casino Royale joke or whatever. Anyways, Eileen was still active when Omega was discovered. we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new primal, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Yeah, if even Nero can figure out our plans, I'm pretty sure everybody and their fucking mom knows what we're about to do. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. I think he's right. At that point, Yorva was like, Sid, when are we not, like, going to a fight? So this is what I mentioned earlier. Cartano is mostly Allegan ruin. And you can kind of go here. And by kind of, this is usually where people come up to slaughter each other in the middle.
Now, where was that? Ah.
I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
He's like, yes, I PvP, Sid. Everybody.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
He truly did do PvP.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology. I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland.
Here's this chuckle fuck.
Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
I was wondering if the lighting would make this guy look better. It doesn't.
The Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
It's like, oh no, you don't. They're about to have like a big marital fight in there.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice opponent this day.
This is when Yorva's like, wait, you're a samurai? Oh god, this guy's face. I wonder if Gosetsu will say something if he knows I'm a samurai. Anyways, meet Grinwat. I made a comment way back in the day that, you know when you play The Sims or something like that and you make a sim character and you can hit you can hit like randomize on your character and usually it gives you like the ugliest character you've ever seen. If Final Fantasy XIV had that option of like you get to just click randomize and your character will just be an amalgamation of things.
It's all over now.
Grinwald is that guy. Like he's the random generated character. If you take a look at his character model, there's just like random elements on this guy's face that make no sense. He has blush on. He has a perpetual band-aid on his face.
Leave this to me.
he has makeup over his eyes that make the rest of his face look darker than his eye region. Yorva's insulting this guy's look, and we have, like, barely met this guy for 5 seconds, and she's talking shit on him as we're beating up all of the guys. But yeah, just take a look at this guy real close. He's ugly as shit. And I thought, well, they have improved lighting. The improved lighting is not helping him. Though it is taking away from his blush, though I still see it a little bit. Surrender! We have you outnumbered. Yorva's like, I am never surrendering to a guy who does his makeup like this. Wouldn't be the first time. Oh, hold on, I got a call. Are you still playing with those soldiers? Ugh. I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. You're just like, what? Nero, I don't want your kinks. Oh, there we go. This wasn't a realm reborn, technically. Behold! The Red Baron! Now in this nonsense. What the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor. Forward! For the Empire! Whatever. The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray tend to the rest of his minions. Yorva's like, I respect any man who carries a katana. Alright. I have to say, Nero's comes with a lot more bells and whistles than mine does. You can have your very own Magitech armor, but it comes with like 2 emotes. That was just
right to strike.
Diffractive Magitech something. What is Magitech cannon? I know that one. Photon stream is just pew pew.
No
high powered Magitech something.
Your defense is lacking.
I have you.
It's all over now. Leave this to me.
Kasetsu over there making Lord of the Rings jokes. He said, you have felled a Titan, but that still only counts as one.
This one'll sting.
Also entering the era where NPCs say a lot more. Gosh. No, you don't.
Look upon a samurai of honor.
Oh gosh.
You watching, Pavolimo? No retreat. No surrender.
There's just so many things to attack. Okay. Focus on the Colossus.
No holding back.
That's a good one. Okay, is this just a solar beam? Flareon is the only fire type that cannot cast solar beam. So all of his men ran away and now he's floundering. And everybody's calling him pitiful.
All over now.
Spoiler, this guy is shit at his job, honestly.
Leave this to me.
I think he's technically a legatus. Even Nero, when he saw him, he was like, I don't have time for this buffoon, and he ran off.
This one'll sting.
So he has a reputation. Enough that Nero knows who he is. Oh gosh, everything's on fire. This guy likes to blow things up and set things on fire. Gosh. Gotta run. Can you get out of that fire, please? Yeah, there we go.
An opening.
Augmented suffering. What a move. What do I gotta do?
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
Look upon a samurai of, Eorzea. Oh gosh, I'm in the fire. Kind of standing there. There he goes. He just... That was a really fast waddle. That's what that was. He left that looking like a penguin. Okay, now it's our turn to be inside. Also, Nero, I parked your Red Baron in a no parking zone. It got towed. Just letting you know.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side.
He wasn't
waking up.
He wasn't looking at instructions. He was looking at a picture of a butt right there. He's like, yes. Just contemplating that paper.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
Nothing will go wrong.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
It's like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Subjectable. Yorva's like, no, what do you think? What do you think?
What do I think?
Oh no, we asked her to
Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
We asked her to think. She formed a thought. And it was a good thought, but she formed a thought.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
She's like, I'm going to press the big button. Yorva's like, damn it, I've always wanted to press
Yes! Fly free, my pretty!
Show us what you can do.
Oh god. Now we know what his real kink is. Everybody's like, can you tone it down a
The
little?
launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
Surely that did it. Bahamut looks different. So remember how there's a lot of wind and water aspect in ether? Yeah, this is where that wind and water aspect in ether went. Where's all that water pooling, by the way? Like, did all of the shrouds just get flooded? Like, flash flood warning in your area. Also this. I can only imagine if you were living nearby, you'd just be like, holy crap. My insurance does not protect against this. Why did he just grow teeth? Like, he's not planning to bite down. He's doing a frickin' laser beam. Maybe you need more teeth? Always need more teeth for solar beams. Yeah, we did that. We pushed the button and now that happened. I mean, something worse was about to happen. I mean, this thingy, was about to just crack open. I'm sure it'll be fine. I like to imagine the cameras showed us all that, and we're all just sitting there like,
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Nero's like, I was hoping for more explosions than that.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Yorva's looking at that like, that was a lot of explosions, right? Like, that was a lot.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalymo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
I think, like, Papalymo was the cocoon. His atoms dispersed and formed a cocoon. I was like, nobody ever told me those tattoos were magic. I thought, like, you actually had to get some ink. And then she goes up to the rest of the Scions and they're like, yeah, you do. You get ink. And she's like, but... Ida? I'm not sure why we lost connect with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. Oh, please. Just teleport me there. I do not want to go anywhere. And here we are. Hi, Banana Milk. Let's see. One moment everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Do you want some music? Yorva's like, yeah, are you offering? He's like, yeah, I got these old records, take them. People hand her the weirdest stuff in these times. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. It's like, I was in the bunker when that big blast happened. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait, we must... The Elder Seed Seer is expecting us. Worry not, Alphino. Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. I wonder if you can see it all the way from Gridania, all of that fireworks show. I just like to imagine the Alliance leaders are... I mean, they had to have been keeping an eye on the situation, right? So they had to have been nearby, and they just watched that go down, and they're like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be a lot of mess to clean up. It was like an atomic bomb going off. Oh god, I forgot. Amric probably watched all that happen. He was like, you lead an interesting life. Had I not instructed you to throw Nidhogg's accursed eyes into the abyss, all of this might have been avoided. I thought them beyond reach. To be fair, Amric, like, it was the icy hell pit that nobody ever survives or goes to underneath Ishgard, so... Another calamity averted, huh? And how many times now have you and yours hauled us back from the brink? I don't know, Merylwood, but did you see what happened? It would seem Garland's little friend was as good as his word. let's just watch as things unfold, please. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged this duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You were too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega Eye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that falls, so we have no idea about the fireworks. We're like, how to explain this? Even she's like, what words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain. I'll just do it the blunt way, but I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its mist rose a great dragon. It kind of looked like Bahamut, but without feet, really. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Garabania. The primal's might defied belief. It seemed that the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics as I have never seen, and hope to never see again. Amric's like, I'm a little bit traumatized by that, honestly. Do you guys do this on the daily? The battle raged on with no end in sight, until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere in Alamegan's soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seems that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. Do you promise? I like that Mr. Unnamed Here guy who appeared in his own short stories, just like right behind Amric, and he's like looking around like Omega could come by at any moment. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. I almost said that name until I stopped myself because, once again, I can't just... I managed to avoid spoilers this time, guys. Just please applaud me. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of far eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer it to as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega's, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Garabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Tarupin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things, like why everybody looked shell-shocked when we got here. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis systems, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they manage it at all. Do you promise? Anyway, it's like Nero. You have a whole country full of people who do Magitech shit. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Kind of like that entire light show might have attracted every Garlean in a 500-mile radius. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the Resistance representatives in Garabania. Though Ilberd has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation, and by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. They're like, well, might as well take control of the situation as much as we can, so... I mean, that's really good of the Alliance. They should have try to secure that border, but like I said, without Ishgard's help, they were probably too weak. And also considering, Raubad was in jail for a while, and the Sultana was kind of, like, poisoned, and she's still recovering right now as we speak. That's why she's not here. But, they're taking it easy on her, so... You must be exhausted from pressing that button. Yorva's like, I didn't even press the button, Alfino. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour? Shtola and the others have gathered at that spire that I can't pronounce. And I imagine that you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. Yorva's like, is there a wall anymore? It is decided then. Lead on. Also, like, where did that floodwater go? Like, I'll just hear what Nero has to say. Should very much like to see this Shinryu creature for myself. I said. If, as seems likely, we put Omega into stasis after, what do they call it? Ah, yes, after Shinryu was defeated, we should have little to fear from either of them. I'm sure. We don't have to worry about it. This operation to take the wall will be Ishgard's first military action under Alliance banners. Well, not exactly, but yes. Though I have no appetite for bloodshed, a part of me is glad of the chance to begin reparations for our past inaction. Don't lie, Aymeric, you love to fight. I'm just seeing if they have anything interesting now. Sorry to skip over you guys, I just, Okay, Barrel Whip's just having PTSD of the Calamity, which, again... Lots of parallels to this, you know, like... actually, I'm just gonna teleport directly to it. But yeah, the whole sealing away a dragon, inside a cocoon. And Cartano, was one of the final stands against the Empire, against Bahamut, though there wasn't really much that... I mean, Bahamut was there wasn't anything they could do. Oh yeah, I could talk to these people. Actually, I'll just talk to Ida. She has nothing to say. Okay. She's just staring at it, and it's... Yeah, I mean, it's gone. Real fun how the wall doesn't have, like, a scratch on it. But, you know. Only the curs of Garlemald could sully such beauty with that black iron monstrosity. Those animals respect nothing and no one. He's really mad that this is, like, marring his scenic, forest walk. Ida is there, atop the spire. You already tried to talk with her, I see. She's done naught but gaze silently at the wall for some time now. Alright, sorry, Alfie, don't cry. I'm running out of time.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
They're like, oh yeah, nuclear bomb shit.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
Oh, so their houses got flooded. Alright.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilberd's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moment prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And then a calamity upon everybody else.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods!
I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She's up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhap she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
All his atoms.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Face reveal. Face reveal. Just like Estinian, where do you hide all that hair?
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too, and I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
For 15 years.
For you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know.
It was like the worst kept secret.
Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
So, by this timeline, even if you had played in 1.0, because that was still 6 years ago, or more, less than 6 years ago, I don't know. Because the timeline gets fuzzy if you're trying to think of things, but 6 years ago was 1.0, so the Ida then really wasn't Ida. Ida had freshly died in 1.0, and this is the new Ida, which is her sister, her little sister. And honestly, this was not written beforehand. It never was. This was shoehorned in the writing of Stormblood. So, yeah, Ida, as we've known her, was never Ida at all. So, why did you never tell me? Everybody else knew. Everybody in the Scions knew. I think even the twins knew. Maybe not.
I'm sorry
it didn't
for
come
not.
until recently. Never
My
mind.
real name is Lise.
So me and the twins are together in this.
When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Can you imagine how that thing stunk? Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we will be there to support her on the road she has resolved to walk. I was like, yeah. Even though I'm not following this plot at all. She's just like, what's going on? Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell Tataru and my sister. Alize is going to be like, you mean I missed out on nuclear bombs dropping out of the sky? Wait a minute. Are they already rolling credits? There you go. Here's the credits. I can't play it for too long. And there you go. That was the credits. He may have mentioned, but Alfino has apprised me of all that came to pass at Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. The calm before Stormblood. Yorva's like, what was that? She's like, oh, I don't know. Lise has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. I mean, that was a lot of lights. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Girabania, we will have little choice but to fight. which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence. Correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and strike a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as, I rather suspect, do you. That was it. That was the far edge of fate. Only, they always do this. Got more cutscene. Quick march. The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. Like, sir, everything's still on fire. Okay, whatever. It is almost time, Father. I've got the popcorn. Family movie night is a go. Aye, aye, stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. Mostly because I am too tiny for them and they can't see me. They'll never see me coming. A reminder that Ralbon and Ilberd once had a history, so, you know. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. There was at one point where Ilberd was a good old-fashioned fighter, but he's fucking went crazy. He did it the wrong way. So with all the Griffin statues, this is the seat of Alamigo, the throne room. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Belsar's wall has fallen into Eorzean alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown icon continues, though both yet elude us. They went really far, guys. My lord, the battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? I'm forklift certified, sir. Sir? I said I was forklift certified. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. Your will be done. It's like I forgot I shouldn't. He's not forklift certified, so he gets upset about that. Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes. The coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. Who put the camera here? Somebody get that camera out of there. That is too much. That is a zoom-in shot that we do not need. Alright, that concludes Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward and all of its patches as far as doing main scenario. And, you know, some of that Alexander. Looks like we got some people back here. I won't be talking to anybody though, because, oh boy, did we, now we're going over by 45 minutes, but thank you very much for joining me on this adventure through Heavensward. I'm really glad that we've completed it. I'm actually a bit excited to start Stormblood. I'll give some more thoughts on it when we start the stream next week. But I'll just talk about the conclusion. Heavensward, of course, had to end with what? We lost Horshavant, we lost Yzael, we lost Minfilia, we lost Papalymo. Add or subtract some other major characters. We had 4 major character deaths in this game. That was brutal. It was brutal going through Heavensward and watching so many people die. And then this last one was just like, really? We couldn't the very last patch, we lose Papalymo. I was a bit upset at the time when we lost him, simply because I felt like we had no time with Papalymo. He just, he showed back up in our lives, and then he died. And then the whole Ida situation. I kind of made a quip at it, and I told myself I'd keep the quips to a low, but I just love making fun of it too much. I'm actually a big fan of Lise. I think she's okay. I just wish it didn't come at the cost of... Actually, never mind this Ida character you hung out with this entire time. She never existed. Not even back in 1.0 did she exist. I think I mostly had problems with the fact that they foreshadowed none of that. And 100% I know the guess on this. My guess is they never planned for this. And I simply think that they kind of ran out of a direction to go with Ida and Papalymo. They were always kind of like those two guys, you know, that they were always the pair, the duo, the whatever. So I can really sense it as a story writer and somebody who enjoys, you know, delving into stories all the time. This was simply a case of they did not know how to write for those characters anymore. They were kind of a relic of 1.0. They, even in Heavensward and in even continuing into Stormblood, you will still see them having to clean up the absolute mess that was 1.0, honestly. So, at the time, I thought the writing was a little bit cheap in this area. I have a newfound appreciation for it because I have the bigger picture now. So, if any of you are kind of pissed off about Ida and Papalymo's situation, know that a lot of people were at the time. But I accept it for how it is. They didn't know what to do with those two characters, so they wrote them out of the story. I guess that's all you can do at the end of the day when you come to a conclusion that these characters that you currently have that are, you know, part of the main cast, you just got to realize when to let them go. So from this point forward, Ida does not exist, and she never has, at least as far as the Warrior of Light ever knows. Apparently the entire Scions of the Seventh Dawn knew it, and they never thought to maybe, like, pull Warrior of Light aside and just be like, hey, look, so Ida's doing this thing where she's pretending to be her sister, just go along with it. I guess they just thought it wasn't their secret to tell, but even then, it just kind of feels like a dick move to do that to Warrior of Light. Like, hey, this person you've been working with for a very long time, yeah, she's been keeping up an act, and all of us have been keeping it up for her simply because. But, I mean, it wasn't, I guess, important for Warrior of Light to know, but it still feels just so oddly random. But I simply wish that maybe Lise had come to us as her own character, rather than take over for this mystical Ida that, again, we've never even met. She existed at some point, but she died well before we were ever in the game, so Yeah, but Lise, as we'll be traveling with in Stormblood, is actually a pretty well-written character. Unfortunately, Ida wasn't, and that's what ticked me off. But that being said, I do say sometimes the trope of sibling taking over for another sibling to continue to fight, like, that is a fairly good trope. I do like a good sibling takeover, but I will remind you, a kind of better version of this one, even though it wasn't better for the people of Eorzea, was the entire plotline of Nail von Darnus. Nail von Darnus was revealed to not actually be Nail von Darnus. It ended up being his sister that took his mantle, and she was the driving factor behind the moon falling and causing the calamity. Nail von Darnus is the perpetrator of the calamity that started A Realm Reborn and everything after it. But you only find this out doing Binding Coil. But you find that she, through a combination of being tempered by the Primal Bahamut and also facing the death of her brother, she went nuts crazy. So that was actually even better revealed than Ida, and that sounds bad. But I do want everybody to give Lise a good chance, even though I was disinclined to at first, because I just felt like she was just a character shoehorned in at the last minute, and I just don't appreciate that in writing. So it's like a no hate to the character that had this done to them, but I was like really just... Nobody likes feeling just like somebody pulled something out of their ass, you know? They want to be treated a little bit better than that, and I would never recommend that style of writing unless you really think you can get away with it, to just do a switcheroo on characters like that and then pretend that the old one never existed, or, well, never existed in the context of this story. So... But, yeah, super excited to start Stormblood next week. We will be starting exactly where we ended things, kind of, over there, is at Baelsar's Wall. And we'll be going over the wall, over the garden wall. No, this is not a garden. Over the wall, to Girabanya, where we'll be fighting people and meeting up with the resistance that's been on their side. There's still been resistance members inside Girabanya trying to liberate Alamigo. It's just their fight is quite a struggle. They are in enemy territory and they are far outnumbered. That's why a lot of resistance members had to move outside into Eorzea to recruit for more. But unfortunately, it led to a very long 20-year stalemate. So, anyways, I'm gonna cut this now. We're already almost an hour over, but, you know, whatever it takes to finish. I thank you for your time. I hope you all have a good night, or a good evening, or a good morning, whenever, you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.